I have put together a few more thoughts um, regarding government, and this is also from the very top, the federal level, and this applies clear down to a local government. What I would like to discuss is the characteristics and the responsibilities, if you will, of those respective offices, whether it be the President of the United States or even a local mayor, and by extension, like a city council or a Congress. And I bring these views up um, in light of uh, right now we are having a government shutdown where there's a budget impasse. They have not, Congress of the United States has not passed a budget. Um, uh, and it hinges, for the most part, basically over the Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare. Um, but what bothers me is that we are seeing the repercussions of a government shutdown. We have seen the closures of state parks, federal parks. Um, we are having government workers being put on furloughs. And since this shutdown, we have seen several bills that have gone through Congress to fund certain essentials to get people back to work, or at least to keep the essential services online. What struck me most is when it gets to like the World War II memorial. Number one, the World War II memorial is an open monument. It's not a guarded place. It does not require federal money um, to guard, and it was closed. And we had many veterans coming from across the country to view this World War II memorial. These are gentlemen in their 90s. And I have a hard time justifying why our beloved President of the United States would advocate closing such a place unless it was for political reasons. Uh, you do not prevent your country's veterans from paying their respects at a war memorial. You treat your veterans as if they have a very ownership of the office that you hold as President of the United States. That's how important they are. That's how important their example sets for the rest of the country. No sitting president, no Congress has the God-given right to close such a place down and to barricade it, and just recently to place barbed wire around it to prevent it from being seen. It is truly an asinine thing to spend money on a place that requires no money just to prevent people from visiting it. It's wrong. That comes into the characteristics of the President of the United States. The President of the United States is to serve the people, serve their best interest. It is so apparent that self-service and self-interest is being served. Same goes with the mayor and a governor. They are to serve the people, their constituents. They are given the sacred responsibility to direct their taxes, to influence in a correct manner, to operate the government. And what every government leader needs to remember, and this includes Congress and every city council, is that those funds, the same funds that pay you, the same funds that you are entrusted to take care of, are sacred funds. These are funds that people are, by law, obviously, affording the government. These are funds that people have worked for. They have bled for, sweat for, worked long hours for, to keep America running, to keep services going. And so when a city council goes over budgets or votes to allocate funds in a certain direction, every member of that city council needs to remember that those are sacred funds. And it is your sacred duty and responsibility to allocate those funds in the best interest of your city. And it is no difference when it comes to a state Congress or a federal Congress. You have constituents who have elected you and placed you where you are. And it is your responsibility to discharge that duty with the complete faith of the people. You are to act without self-interest. You are to act without party interest. And government is necessary to prevent chaos. If you don't have a rule of law, if the people don't have a rule of law, you have anarchy. When you don't have a rule of law, you have no way of providing services. You have no way of providing medical care. You have no way of providing for schooling. In other words, the government is here and set up to provide a country and all of its inhabitants the guarantee and the promise that they can live, pursue happiness, expand, grow, develop, become educated, and to ultimately become a contributing member of society. So I would not only let you know that this is an educational thing as far as the roles of government. Of course, it wasn't down deep detail, but to also remind you that we all need to be mindful of the actions of our government on all levels: the national government, the state government, and your local government. Be watchful of their actions. Understand why they do the things that they do. A local government is much more, you're able to discern that much better because they have public meetings, usually once or twice a month at least, that you can go, listen, and understand where decisions are made. And though they may not be popular decisions, you can at least understand how those group of people came to those decisions. That is your responsibility as a citizen, is to do all you can to understand the government and to offer your input. It's kind of harder on a national level because we've got media, but we can see the repercussions of it. When you see a government that shuts down a memorial that takes no money to keep it open, and it purposely holds out your nation's war veterans, and it's done completely out of political spite, has nothing to do with the good of the people, the welfare of the people. That's when you know something is not right. Not right at all. To me, it is a travesty what is going on with this government shutdown. And so those are some thoughts on the national level. But it's also a reiteration that, we can complain all we want about a government, but until we take the action, the personal action to go, understand, and learn, we need to be a part of the process. Those are a few of my thoughts on government today and the responsibilities and the duties, which are highly spiritual, of those offices.